Hey guys, this is Adam. This is going to be my first episode of hopefully a longer series that I'll be doing of videos between 5 and 10 minutes or so long a piece regarding the mobile game Heroes Charge. Kind of what I'm going to be doing over the next handful of episodes anyways is just kind of reviewing some basic aspects of the game, things that maybe you should be aware of or things that you should be aiming to do or complete every single day. If you do and complete these things every day, this will help make your gameplay experience most likely a lot better than what you would otherwise notice. So the one thing that I will actually dive into here today, I guess maybe a little strange for first episode, but it's regarding one of our newer features in the Heroes Camp. So as you can see here, Heroes Camp, this is relatively new. It was released, I think, 2 releases ago in Heroes Charge, which gives us access to a lot of different things that we can do here. So as you can see, we have the Marketplace, the Academy, the Forge, Warhol, Furnace, Training Field, and Vault. Just a quick rundown here. The Vault allows us to store a specific amount of resources that we acquire. So as you can see here, my Vault's level 3. It allows us to protect up to 86,500 resources here. We can also protect or prevent 17,000 resources from Mercury from being plundered, but it does not prevent revenge plunder, which I'll get into in just a few moments here. We have the Furnace, which allows us to break down gear that we have now and distribute it into various pieces or resources that we can use. So I guess one thing to note about the Furnace before I just move too quickly through all this stuff here, but with each piece of gear that we disassemble, the temperature of the furniture increases here, so you can see my max is 6,000. Once it hits the max, I can't disassemble anything else. The temperature obviously cools down or goes down once you stop disassembling these items. So basically it's just a time thing. It just prevents you from taking hundreds or thousands of pieces of gear or items and disassembling them all at one time. Then we have the training field here. So to be honest, I haven't really dove into the training field all that much, but the gist of the training field is just that it allows us to bump up some skills or some statistics for our heroes. So it does have a resourcing cost of 40,000 gold, 6,000 lumber, et cetera here at the bottom. We can go ahead and we can contribute those resources, and it'll improve. In this instance, for like my Death Mage, Magic Power, Magic Crit, and HP. You'll notice here for our Frost Mage armor instead of HP, but these can actually change depending on which hero it is that you're training up. So haven't really gotten too deep into this yet. I'll keep you guys posted on this, and we'll hopefully talk about it a little bit more. I'm going to skip the Warhol for a second here, but we'll go straight to the Forge. Forge is my favorite of everything here so far, because it allows me to basically create or craft a piece of gear just by using the resources that I'm acquiring here. So right now you can see here that I'm working on a demon garment. This is great. It does take a significant amount of time here, like a Force of Gods. I mean, we're talking about nearly a week, 6 days and 22 hours. But as you can see, like the resourcing cost isn't like terribly high, right? It's 18,270 lumber, and then the others are fairly low. So it really is more or less a time commitment than it is anything else. But this is great because these resources come completely separately than resources throughout the rest of the game. So rather than maybe spending gems on something, if something pops up in a shop, or gold on some fragments, if the fragments pop up in a shop, something along those lines, I can simply just take some resources here, acknowledge the fact it's going to take me some time, and then go ahead and craft that gear, and hopefully in about a week or less, those pieces will be ready for me to equip to my heroes. We have the Academy, so you'll notice that here on the right hand side we have nautical charts, law of forest, memoirs, etc. All these pieces. Once you craft the book, you can go ahead and we can actually get some additional passive gifts or stat increases to our heroes. So the only one I've done so far is the gift of life here, which is as a 1 of 1, but the passive increases HP by 400 of my admiral. So unfortunately I don't use my admiral that much. I was just kind of testing this out, but you know, that seems to be able to provide some significant benefits here. You know, next on the map here, or on the tree, would be something that looks like here is for Shadow Leaf. So will affect the lifesteal ability of Shadow Leaf if I'm willing to consume these resources. You can also see here, though, one of the nice parts about Academy is that the time consumed is relatively low, 5 minutes, and I can go ahead and I can have some additional lifesteal for Shadow Leaf or some additional attack damage or whatever here. So again, like, these times may change as we get fragments or open additional books, but the nautical chart is the only one that I've acquired so far fully that I'm able to kind of go through and start playing around with. And then we have the marketplace, which is simply just an exchange. I can sit and I can say I want to exchange like some coins for some ore, and it will go ahead and it'll tell me for 375,000 gold coins I can get 3,000 ore, and I can redeem it 60 times every single day. So yeah, I mean, the going rate it's about the same across the board except for mercury. Obviously we get a lot less mercury than we do the ore and the lumber, but it effectively, there's also gems on here if you really are paying to play the game hardcore and you want to consume some gems to do that works too. But the nicest part about doing this is you can exchange from resource to resource. So for instance, I can go ahead and I can exchange like ore to mercury or lumber to mercury, lumber to ore, you know, those types of things. And there'll be some exchange rate involved with that, so just keep that in mind. You know, you'll go ahead and you'll get some level of, or there'll be some, I guess, fee included in it, right? Like 3750, I'm effectively leaving 750 lumber on the table in order to get, or 750 lumber on the table to get 3,000 ore out of my lumber. So that's perfectly typical game stat. But by far the best place, and the place that you'll want to check out the most in the game here when you first start, is going to be your Warhol. So the Warhol here, and I guess, forgive me, you know, I've been tinkering around in it a little bit today, but basically over time, over the course of time, it will go ahead and you will be able to claim some resources. So you can see here it's just auto-generating some resources here. You know, this is perfect. You know, I think it takes about 10-11 hours to get to max, but it's free resources, right? Like, this doesn't cost anything except time. And it does do this even while you're offline. So, I mean, I can simply shut it down now, come back and check in, you know, 8 hours or something like that later, and I'll have some significant resources I guess I can collect. But the key here is that you want to go ahead and you want to set up a team to defend. You will get a buff, which is why my team's power is pretty high here. But you'll set up a team to defend these resources, much like you would the booty cave. If you have like a gold mine, or, you know, for EXP in the mine there, you basically set up a team to defend those mines. People can come and they can try to raid them and steal some resources. This is the same concept here, except what I've noticed is that people tend to be a lot more aggressive. I literally just played it. You can see here on the history log 1 minute ago was the last attack, and I mean, they stole some pretty significant stuff from me here 11 minutes ago, 42 minutes ago. So I mean, like, it's pretty frequent here. The bad part about this is that if you want to take revenge on someone, there's a cost, right? 50 gems on revenge, I think it's a little excessive. To me, it's not entirely worth it, because based on what it is that I've lost, I'm not sure that, like, these resources, in my opinion, are worth 50 gems. You know, I'd rather just go and search for enemies and find somebody else that I could just steal their stuff from. So the benefit to this here is that I can go through, I can see the enemy setup and the available loot that I can take, and I'm simply just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna find one. This one looks pretty significant. We'll go ahead and we'll plunder these resources. So one thing that is pretty cool about this is that your team or your setup, if your heroes die, they automatically regenerate their health, and they will automatically kind of revive themselves and heal back up to full health. So you don't really need to worry about having a healer involved. If you lose a battle or something like that, you'll probably find a way to come back, in a few hours once they've regenerated, some of their resources and things like that. Which is why, like, as I play it here, like, I feel like I'm fairly reckless, with my heroes on this aspect, because it really just isn't. It really just isn't super, super important. Even if these heroes die for me, this, isn't the end of the world. It's not the worst case scenario or the worst thing that could happen. So, basically, as long as you win the battle, there will be, as long as you win the battle, you're able to basically take all the available resources that were there for the taking. So, it looks like we'll have some success here. I got a couple of heroes that were down, so like I said, this one was pretty sloppy, but not too bad here. So I went ahead and I plundered the resources, and I can actually go ahead and I can attack this as many times as I'd like. There's no cap or limit to this. I can go ahead and I can keep searching, I can keep attacking, I can keep being aggressive, but in this particular instance, if I go ahead and let's just say, like, I want to plunder this one here, like, you can see that I have some heroes like my ninja assassin and my dwarf warrior. They just got knocked out, basically. They're very, very low on health. So if I come back and I check back a little bit later, they might be in a little bit better shape. My Death Knight is another perfect example of one right over here. He died in my last battle because I went, I think, 3 or 4 battles in a row, and somebody finally wiped him out. He's slowly making his way back, so it's not a bad idea to maybe utilize a healer, chaplain, or something like that in your attacks. But it will definitely help in the long run to kind of maximize this, right? Like, you only need to run it once in order to gain the achievement. So you'll get 60 experience points, team experience points for completing it. But like I said, it's definitely worth it. So that pretty much concludes it. Just, I guess, to kind of cap this off, because I know this was a ton of content in a very, very short period of time, but the benefits to plundering everyone else's resources is that I can now use these resources to upgrade all my other buildings, which are capped out by the level of my Warhol. So my Warhol is level 3. If I wanted level 4, I got a long ways to go, obviously, right now. But once I can level this bad boy up to level 4, I can then go ahead and I can level up all my other buildings to hopefully be able to craft some new gear in the forge, maybe train some new things in the training field, or disassemble some new items in the furnace. Hopefully also the cap will go up in the vault too. So the short version of the story, I guess, is just that if you can acquire a lot of resources in a short period of time, like, you have some access to some pretty nice tools here in the game that don't cost nothing else other than a little bit of battle time. So hope you guys enjoy this first video. Maybe we'll do some shorter ones to kind of recap each of those pieces, but hopefully you guys can smash the like button below, and if there's something specific that you guys want to see or know about Heroes Charge, leave me a comment in the comments section. We'll go ahead and we'll get a video popped out for it. Again, thanks for watching, guys.